What's up, everyone? So this is the March 2024 live stream. Wait, it's 2025. Goes to show where my mind's at right now. I'm gonna back up a little bit, or actually, no. Let me adjust my stand here. That way you can see my head. Give me a minute. Is that better? Why am I sideways? Well, this is a mess, isn't it? All right. Let's try that. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Okay. I think we're still sideways, but we'll deal with that. Okay, so get the right year this time. So this is the March 2025 live stream. So I was not planning on doing the live stream today. I am very tired. So if I seem off, that's why. I put up a poll on the community tab, and I wanted to know if we were going to do the live stream today or if we were going to do it tomorrow. 78% of you said today at 6 p.m. So that's what we're doing. It looks like people are starting to roll in. And you see here, I actually have a lot to tell you guys about this month. But before I get started, there's two things that I think you'll notice on the stream. One is I pinned a comment from myself on there, and that is just if you guys have not filed your taxes yet, I got mine done. So I use TurboTax. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do your own, do it through TurboTax. And if you use that link in the pinned comment, you'll get 20% off the federal return, and then I'll get a $25 gift card for that. So you might as well, if you're not gonna use another service and you haven't filed yet, use that link. Also, before I go any further, drink of the day is a regular Coke. I never drink regular pop, so this is a little bit different for me. I actually have a different drink of the day that I had planned, but I don't have a bottle opener, and it's like a glass bottle with the thing that you got to pry off. So we're gonna maybe have to do that for next month's when I can get a bottle opener. So this is the drink of the day, and then if I go through this, I do have a backup over here. The regular Diet Pepsi and my favorite cup. So the other thing you guys will notice is on the, well, it's at the top of the chat tab, at least where I see it. I don't know where you guys see it. I've been talking about starting these goals, and I don't know if it's going to work here. We'll see. But basically, for a few months now, YouTube has had these goals where you can set goals for live streams, and basically you say a certain number of super chats, and then a certain level, like super chat has to be X amount of money, and if it's below that, it doesn't count. So I set it at 5 super chats of $5 each, and if we get that, then the reward I set for it is that I will play PUBG Mobile tonight at 11 p.m. on Twitch. So somebody asked me a few streams ago to sign up for Twitch. I did, and although I haven't really set up anything on my profile, I do have an account there, and I play PUBG Mobile on there. So normally I do it just as a taking a break between things thing, and I don't do it at a certain time. But if we get to that 25, it would be $25 total super chat goal for today, then I'll play at least 2 or 3 rounds tonight at 11 p.m. So if you guys need a link to my Twitch, it is in the description of this video first link is a link tree. If you click there, Twitch is linked there, and then you can subscribe to me, and you can watch the past gameplay too. I'm not in any way claiming that I'm good, but it's there. So as you can see, I'm in a new place, and in case you missed it, I am in New Hampshire. If you did miss it, I put up a video a few days ago explaining all about that. So this is a temporary location. I've been very busy this month, which I'll tell you guys about here in a bit. Very busy. But the one thing that I wanted to do before the end of the month was to figure out a location to film the live stream. This is a lot smaller house than what I had before, and it's a lot more close quarters. These guys, their living room is right on the other side of the wall from my bedroom, which is where I'm at right now. It's a little bit quieter than in my office, which is the next room over. But the thing about it is it can get really loud, especially during the day. So they may turn on music at some point. They may bang on the walls. You'll probably hear cars out in the parking lot. We're just gonna have to deal with that for today. But I am pretty sure I have a solution for next month. And then after that, they won't be here. They will be leaving around the middle of May, and I'll have the place to myself for the rest of May, all of June, all of July, and at least half of August. So no problems with noise there. But yeah, I think I have a solution figured out, possibly multiple, just so I have some backups. But as far as filming and streaming for next month, we should be good. I just kind of ran out of time to get this set up, especially because like I said, I wasn't planning on streaming today. So I told you guys I had a rough weekend. The guys have been fairly okay, but they were super loud this weekend, and Saturday night they didn't turn the music off until after 7, and so I couldn't go to sleep. And then I think because I stayed up so long, this hasn't really happened before, but because I stayed up so long, I got a headache, and I fought it off for most of the day. That's a car. But when I finally got up yesterday, it was just like a full-blown headache, and by last night, I couldn't even fall asleep. It was so bad, and everything closes here early. I don't know where my Tylenol is. It's packed up somewhere, and I couldn't find it. So I went the whole night laying in bed for hours, like holding my head because my head hurt so bad. And then I finally got about 4 hours of sleep before I had to be up to meet a contractor today. So, and then like I said, our CEO was supposed to be here today. Not, first impressions, I didn't really want to be on 4 hours of sleep, but that's what was going to have to happen. But then he didn't show up, so I guess that's good for me. I guess maybe he'll randomly show up tomorrow. I don't know, but yeah. So anyway, that's been the deal with the scheduling of the live stream. Starting next month, like I said, we'll have a new space. It'll look totally different from this, and then hopefully from there on out, it'll be fine. Actually, probably for May, June, and July live streams, I'll probably just do them here at the house, just because no one will be here. But I'll probably do it from like the living room or something where I'm not so cramped. You guys can't really see it, but there's a wall right here. There's a wall right here, and I'm in this like weird little hole. That door goes into the office there. So anyway, all of that. I haven't seen any comments yet, but let me just make sure I'm not missing any. Got my computer over here. Come on. Okay, that's not cooperating at all. Okay, well, eventually when I can, I'll check for comments. Come on. Also, guys, YouTube's are making some more changes. I know they kind of spring them on us. They're changing the way that ads work, so you might see some differences there. Let me know if you got an ad on this video. I know I didn't. I'm watching it over here on my other display. They're changing the way that the ads work, and then apparently there's some more stuff I can do with the stream. Like, when I will like walk off for a little while, like apparently there's like a notice I can put up and be like, be back in 5 minutes. And I don't think I can do that from mobile. But I figured out that I can do it from desktop. So maybe at some point we'll figure out how to switch over to that. All right, cool. We're up to 10 people, so it looks like people are coming around here. I know it's a weird time for me to stream, so I didn't know how many people would be here. So as we wait for the comments to come in, I'm just going to tell you guys now, I have had an incredibly busy month. Hey, Max, you're the first comment, I think. Dragon Shores says, I'm bummed we didn't squat up when you were in Bloomington. Yeah, hey, I remembered your comment on a couple of different posts, and I didn't really know how to contact you, but yeah, I was in Bloomington for like 9 months, but most of that 9 months was winter. So I will be back in July. I don't know how much free time I'll have, but just so you know, I will be back in July. I think it's around mid-July. So ironically, this new company that I'm working for is holding the training that we do over the summer in Bloomington. So I will be actually staying at one of the fraternity house. Hey, that sounds good. I never got to try that. I think I went in there to get a DoorDash order. But yes, please bring it up with me like early July. So I don't know how packed our schedule is, and this is one of those companies where like all the people hang out together that work together. So I know they're gonna expect us to go out to dinner together and stuff. But like I'm totally up for like a late night just I don't know how late that place is open, but if there's like a fourth meal option or something, I can do that. There's one of the house directors, the house director at Beta. He texted me. He wants to hang out when I'm back in town, but he's probably just going to want to roller skate or something. That's what he generally does. And so yeah, just hit me up, remind me, and I will try to do that. And Darius, I just saw your comment. Let me see here. My computer is where I'm reading most of the comments. They pop up for a second on the screen, but I can't read them fast enough. So I'm looking at the stream on my computer, but my computer is running like it's on dial-up. Well, maybe. Oh, here it is. Okay. Darius says, I first discovered your content at age 23 in 2018. I had $50,000 in student debt and saw you as a horror story to avoid. Sadly, 7 years later, in a lot of ways, I became more like you than I'd like to admit. Well, there's nothing wrong with that because my story is actually pretty average. Most people just don't talk about it. I mean, over those years, I had $90,000 of my loans disappear. Those ones that they just, for some reason, never collected on. I don't know what the deal with that it was. Of course, the other group of private loans I've kept paying on, I've paid them down. Of course, they're not paid off, but the balances have decreased. And Then there's the federal loans, which of course haven't paid anything since COVID. So who knows what's going on with those in the future. But eventually those will be forgiven. So whether it's 20 years or 25 years, I am 13 years into that now. So I'm not worried about those either. Um, so, I mean, I would just take it as, I mean, I wouldn't feel bad about yourself. Everybody has a lot of loans. It's just kind of the way it is. All right, so that's the bottom of the comments for now. So I'm just going to tell you guys some of the stuff I've done this month because it's been a lot. I can't believe looking back how much I actually got accomplished this month. So you guys will probably remember I've been doing, since last summer, I've been doing these monthly goals where I set a goal at the live stream and then the next live stream I follow up with whether I've finished it. Well, I didn't set one for last month and I didn't tell you guys why, but it's because I knew I was moving. So March 3rd, I left Indiana and took me 2 days to get here. That was a long drive. I went to, well, I've been to Pennsylvania, but I like that area is a completely different area of Pennsylvania that I've gone through. Went through New York. I'd never been to New York before. Then crossed the Green Mountains in Vermont. Never been to Vermont. Then I came to New Hampshire. Never been here either. So I've never been to New England. I am living in Durham, so I've gone to Portsmouth, and I've gone to Dover, and I've gone to Somersworth. But I have yet to cross the border, even though I live very close to the border of Maine. I haven't been there yet. And I'm like, I want to say fairly close to the Massachusetts line. Not really to me with a car that doesn't go very far, but I am close by normal people standards who could just drive there. I was speaking of the car. I think I told you guys in the video, but it was actually shipped here. So it's here. It's doing its thing. We took a fairly long trip yesterday or 2 days ago. We took like a 25-mile round trip. It had some issues. It kept getting hot, telling me it was going to overheat, but then instead of overheating, it would go away and go back to not overheating. But it got back fine. Then today, I took it to the drugstore to get some Tylenol, and when I got back, I needed to move parking spaces, and of course it wouldn't start, so I had to go mess with the battery cables and get that to work. So it is a good thing to have, but it's not exactly reliable the way it should be. I mean, I'm very glad to have it. I'm not walking to the grocery store, but at the same time, there's a pretty strict limit to like what I can do with it. Darius says, yeah, my internet is also running slow today. Well, what's weird is my phone and my computer are both on the same Wi-Fi, but the phone is fine. The computer is just so slow, both in like the video is buffering and also just even like scrolling up and down. There's like a delay. Max says, thoughts on cold approaching women for dates. Have you done it? Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I guess my thoughts right now on it is I'm not like really trying to date. Like if I meet somebody, cool, but I don't know, it's not like a priority right now. Probably it'd be a really rare circumstance for me to approach anyone. I mean, I do live on a college campus in a college town. There's not many girls my age, so that would be probably the first thing. Oh, and Max said, do you think, oh, that's weird. I saw it on my screen and then it doesn't come up on the computer. There it is. Do you think the dating scene will be better at your new location? Uh, I'm not really sure because where I was in Indiana, I was like kind of isolated in a small college town. And from everything I read online, it's notorious for having a really bad dating scene. Now I'm technically in Boston. I'm in the Boston metropolitan area. I'm just in New Hampshire rather than Massachusetts. So you would think in one of the biggest cities in the country that, like, yeah, I should be able to. But then it could also go the other direction because I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTubers that live in like New York and LA and they're dating horror stories. So I might start getting dates and then they're awful. So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not really in a place where I'm like actively trying to date. Although I'm on the apps, so I mean, I guess in a way I am, but I'm not really putting myself out there, especially like you mentioned, like approaching in person. The thing about it is, I would have to find somebody like, that looked like age appropriate, like, and also like we have something in common, and then all the other factors. Um, but I'm 39, and I know people tell me I don't look 39. I definitely don't act 39. But the thing is, I think that a lot of the women who are the same age as me, they're at a completely different stage of life. And quite honestly, like it's a stage of life that I don't want to be at, right? Because so many women, for example, this is just one reason, but they choose to have kids. Um, Even like if they weren't with somebody, they just, at some point, women a lot of times will just choose to have a kid because they're getting older. Well, I don't like kids, and I won't date a woman with a kid. So that would rule them out. And of course, you can't tell, um, when you see a woman someone where you can't tell she has a kid. So you might walk up, talk to somebody, hit it off with them, and then find out, they have kids, and that's pretty much the end of it. The other thing is, oftentimes people my age are married more often than not, and that's something you really can't tell, walking up to somebody. Now, my dad, and I will say my dad is not a person to take dating advice from. Uh, he is, he's just a creep, but he would always like look for a ring, but so many people don't wear rings anymore, so that doesn't really tell you anything. Now I'm pretty traditional and stuff like that. Like if I would have gotten married, because I mean I was engaged, so if I would have gotten married, I would have been one of the few dudes who wore a wedding band. Like, I mean, I wear this. This has been on my wrist. I mean, I've taken it off occasionally for certain things, but it's basically been on my wrist for 13 years. Um, it actually probably isn't going to be on there much longer because it's got a crack in it. So I try not to take it off because it's like going to stretch that and it'll eventually break. I feel like I'll feel naked when I don't have anything on my wrist and I don't have anything in mind to replace it. So if you guys hear that, that's this chair. But anyway, there's, yeah, like basically as, well, it's not just women, but like I'm approaching women. As women get older, there's a lot of stuff that they probably have going on that you can't tell just by looking at them. So it's not so simple as just going up and approaching a woman and asking her out on a date. And in fact, I don't think for the most part I would do that anyway. There's certain occasions I would, but normally I would like at least want to have like a conversation and see what the vibe is first. to see if I even want to go do something, or if I even like her. So that's the best way I can answer that, I think. Also, I put chapstick on, and it's not working well. It's really dry up here, by the way. Since I've been here, I actually ended up having to get, for the first time in my life, I am using moisturizer. I am a dude, and I'm putting moisturizer on my face. That's a thing. I had to do it because, not like the first day I got up here, but after being here a few days, I was just so dry. All my skin. So that's what's going on. That's why I'm doing chapstick and moisturizer and stuff. So I had to learn all that stuff because I've never done that before. I am going to be a little bit slow, guys, to respond to comments because I see them pop up on the screen, but there's like a huge delay before they pop up on the comments feed that I have over here on the computer. So I think I'll have to do them in batches. So whoever just commented, I will get back to you fairly soon when this pops up. But let me start back, and while I'm waiting on that, I'll tell you guys what I've been doing. So I got up here to New Hampshire. I'm still getting moved in. I've moved in, obviously, all the stuff that was in the rental car, but my car is still full of stuff. And that's just as much stuff as I have in here already. I brought in my microwave, my toaster oven. I bought a cart from IKEA that those two sit on, and it's perfect beside my little like mini fridge and stuff. And then, so I've got like a little kitchen area off of my office. I do have my own private in-unit washer and dryer here, so that's been pretty nice. I am currently sleeping on a flat sheet on top of the bed. Now the mattress is provided, and that sounds gross, but it's not. They bought a new mattress, and it's I don't know the brand. It might be Casper, but it's one of those new kinds of mattresses that has like, it's expensive, and it has like memory foam on top. So I appreciate that. I've bought sheets for it. I just haven't gone through the process of washing them and putting them on the bed. I also have this thing. I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh yeah, there you go. I haven't put this together yet, but these are really nice. I have a white one that I bought from IKEA for when the girl was supposed to move to Columbus, and I didn't have any room for her to have her clothes. So I ended up buying one and a hanging rack. And I ended up using it, and it's really nice for a capsule wardrobe. So that's what I'm going to be setting up in here. There's a couple other things that I'll buy for the apartment over time. No big rush on it. But I'm just trying to get moved in, set up here. Yeah, basically. And the bathroom in here is actually surprisingly really nice. As far as like tours and stuff, I will eventually, once I get moved in, I will film a tour of my apartment here. And I will also film a tour of the entire house. I'm not sure when my apartment tour will be up, but the entire house tour, that'll be probably over the summer, late summer probably. And then I never got to do like a house tour of the house in Indiana, but there were a lot of like random videos that I took, sometimes for like maintenance problems and stuff. And I've been telling you guys about the memberships that I'm slowly setting up for the channel. So like little odds and ends like that don't make any sense to publish on the channel will end up there. That's not active yet, but just so you guys know, I think what the membership levels are going to be are $1.99 and $5.99 a month. Um, with the lower one just being like literally you'll get recognized in the live streams as a channel member, and you'll get like a couple of other things, but you don't get a lot for it. It'd just really be setting a really low level so anybody can support the channel. And then like the $5.99 a month package would be the one where you would get access to everything else, which would include like all the extra videos. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm gonna get back to some of these comments, and then I'll jump back to telling you guys what I've been doing all month. Darius says, if you could hotwire a DeLorean, what would you do over? Would you study something else in college or have dated someone else, etc.? I mean, that's hard to answer because I like me, and if I changed anything, um, like I wouldn't end up the same way. I think maybe I would have studied something different in college, or maybe I would have studied that like earlier or something. I mean, I didn't have the knowledge at the time, but maybe I could have gone off to a school in a better situation. Um, Part of the reason I have so much debt is because just the area I grew up, I had to go to schools near me because I mean, I had to have a way to get there, and I had to be near my safety net if something happened. Um, I didn't have a driver's license or a car, so maybe I could have gone farther away to college where I'd be at like a state school with a lot of resources, and maybe they would have given me more financial aid. Maybe I could have gotten a job and worked, because I did work through college, but not until like the last 2 years, and I worked full time then. I had an absolute hell of a time finding a job. Um, but I can't really say any of those things for sure. And then as far as have dated someone else, I don't. I don't regret dating the girl. I assume that's what you're asking about. I would not undo that. Um, I've been pretty open with you guys about how I feel about her. Um, and in the end, I mean, even though I really don't know what happened in the end, I see it as a really sad thing that like we had something that was so amazing, and then like it just ended for really no reason. Um, I see it as a really sad thing, um, the way things ended up being. Um, what I do wish that I had done with her, and when I'm able to, which is going to be still a good ways down the road, but when I'm able to, and I make the series of videos explaining why I dropped the lawsuit and what all happened leading up to all this, I'll talk more about it. But one of the main things to understand about it is I think the only thing that I would have changed, well, maybe there's a little bit more I would have changed. If I had had the knowledge at the time. Like, if I'd known about some of the things going on, or if I had known more information about what was going on with her and how to deal with it, like, yeah, I probably would have done things differently, but I didn't have that information. So that's just kind of more hypothetical. So the one thing that I do think that would be worth changing is I think that a lot earlier, like way earlier in the relationship, I should have she hates boundaries. I don't want to necessarily say boundaries, but I should have walked away at times. Um, Way before anything seems in retrospect that I should have. Things that seem really small compared to the things that ended up happening. Um, because I think what would have happened is if I had walked away at that time and said like, no, I'm upset with you and I don't want my girlfriend to act like that. Um, I think that even if she fully disagreed with me that she'd done anything wrong, I think that she would have, you know, tried to at least explain herself or make it up to me or something. Um, so what happened instead is that I didn't like the stuff that was happening. I tried to talk about it, but then she'd get really mean, and then her behavior toward me, because it wasn't like she just did something and then I would accept it, because I didn't, but it was I'd like say something and then I'd get shut down, and then she'd do it again or do something worse. So basically, because I just didn't walk away, um, especially when the problems were a lot smaller, um, I think she just kind of decided she'd just do whatever the hell she wanted and didn't care otherwise. I don't, that's not a conclusion I can fathom myself coming to, regardless of what I got away with anyone. So I can't really see where she's coming from. But I do think that had I basically just put my foot down and walked away a bunch of times before, um, she would have, things never would have gotten. I mean, we may well have stayed apart and not been in a relationship, but things also wouldn't have gotten nearly as bad as they did. They only got to such extremes because um, she just, yeah, I don't know. She just kept escalating stuff and kept doing worse and worse and worse. Um, and I was just trying to fix things and keep the peace. And um, I think that's what enabled her to keep doing it. Now, there were times in the past that I did walk away. There was something kind of sketchy she did back in 2013, and I broke up with her. And let me tell you, she has never let me live that down. Every argument we've had, well, to be fair, not every argument, but a lot of arguments, that still comes up. Even at her deposition, it was brought up. She has never let it go that I broke up with her. And she says it was because of my mom, but it wasn't. That was one of 4 reasons that I told her. But that's the only one she wants to acknowledge. The other reasons that I gave her were her doing sketchy things. And I know I haven't told you guys the story yet, but there were a whole lot of sketchy things, it turns out. And yeah. So it's really hard for me to answer that question, but I think you did ask specifically about relationships. And I think as far as relationships, that's the only thing that I would have changed is that way back in year 1 or year 2 or year 3, there are times I look at where I should have just said, I know you're not going to agree with me on this, but I don't like the way that you're treating me. And I have no hard feelings towards you, but I can't be with somebody who's going to treat me this way or something along those lines. And I do believe even if she didn't agree with me, she probably would have respected me and she probably would have, you know, come back and said, okay, I don't really get it, but I won't do that again. Um, but instead, I think somehow over time she lost respect for me because I just kept putting up with everything she did, which sucks. So, but all of that is hypothetical because she's never actually told me what the issue is with us. So, let's see. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. It Kuro 00. Anyone else looking for a job currently in Cali? It's been pretty tough. Heard about you through your older vid on job hunting. Yeah. So, speaking of job hunting, um, I'm not sure when I'll get around to it, but it will be within the next 2 or 3 months. I also have a series of videos on here that are super old. I think there's a playlist, but I'm not sure. Um, but it's the job hunting series. And I kind of talk about, as I was looking for jobs back in mostly 2017 and 2018, I'm going through like these interviews that I would have, and they would be ridiculous. Um, and just the ways that I was treated by employers and hiring managers. And so, if you want to hear more stuff like that, there's those videos out there. But I am making a new part of it because as I was searching for this job, I did do some interviewing, and I didn't have anything too crazy happen, but this, the same old bullshit basically, of how whether they're actual recruiters or just people who are a business owner hiring for their own positions, the shenanigans that they uh, create, and dealing with them as a candidate, because there was a lot of that. Um, I didn't have too many interviews, but basically, I'm just saying when I get around to it, I'm making a new part of that series. Dragon Shore says, "Did you start up your a dollar saved per hour worked again? How's investing overall going?" Okay, so the thing is, I'm salaried now, so I can't really do the dollar saved per hour worked. What I'm doing is, well, okay, this only makes sense in my own head, so I'm trying to explain this. Um, I take my net amount. So, because of course I'm W-2 now, so taxes come out. I take my net amount, and then I take 10% of that. Half of it goes to paying off old debt, which right now is going toward paying off my invoices from the lawsuit. Um, the other half, the remaining 5%, that goes to um, that. Sorry, I was spaced out. Like I said, I'm tired, guys. Um, that goes to savings. So if you're looking at it as, if you're like, okay, you work 40 hours a week and you have 4 weeks a month, so you should be putting $160 away. Well, I'm really not doing that, and that would be a pre-tax amount anyway. What it ends up being is about $118 a month. 2 paychecks a month, approximately $59 a paycheck. That's what I'm putting away right now. And I know that's not much, but as I've said before, I've stretched myself so thin financially because, not that I'm not making money, I am. It's just that I went like full bore into paying off debt. So I've got, a $525 a month student loan payment, that pays 2 loans, and then I've got $288 in some payment that comes out tomorrow, actually, on the first of every month, is to pay my closed credit card, and then I've got some smaller ones too, and then I'm paying off those invoices, and I still owe the IRS money. So once some of this other stuff's paid off, they'll start getting that money. Um, and of course, I've got my small Capital One credit card. I have my Discover card, which that one I pay off every month, but I still have a balance on the small Capital One. And then I'm sure I have something else that I can't think of right now. But the point is, I've set up payment plans for all these things, and I don't make all that much money, because my role doesn't pay all that much because you get free housing, essentially. So I am kind of living on a low income, but at the same time, it's not incredibly low, especially when you consider the housing. It's just I don't have a lot of liquid assets. Um, And what I do have liquid is mostly going toward debt payments. And then you said, how's investing overall going? Very badly. Uh, so I'm not doing straight investing. I have been putting away $10 a month into an index fund for my IRA because I need credit for those contributions on my taxes. Actually, maybe after this year I don't. Maybe I'll switch to my Roth, but I don't know. But in the past, when I was self-employed, I needed all the deductions I could so I wouldn't owe taxes. Well, the problem is everything on the stock market sucks right now. And I have lost so much money. Um, I mean, relative to the money I've put in it. I mean, let's be honest here. I think I put like $100 total in it. Because like I said, I'm doing like $10 a month. But I've lost a lot of money. Um, I haven't really looked at my Roth and my other IRA because there's hardly any money in that. And then I have tiny bits of money in SoFi and Robinhood and First Trade and there's like one or two others. But I mean, like I can tell you, like Robinhood's like $29. I think First Trade's like $5 or something. I got like a free stock when I signed up for it, and I've never put any money in it. I think Webull has maybe like $175 in it. So basically, um, yeah, basically that's not going very well. And then I do have crypto as well. Now, I don't know anything about crypto, and I don't care to know anything about crypto. But back like 4 or 5 years ago, if you signed up for those crypto exchanges, they would give you free crypto. So I'm like, free money, hell yeah, all right. And that's basically what happened. So I have crypto. Most of it that I got for free has completely lost all value. But I can tell you I have 26 cents in Bitcoin. So yeah. um, that's in my oh god, what that's blockchain.com that has that. And I have an even smaller amount in Ethereum. But then I have Coinbase, which is where most of my crypto is. Um, I mean, I have about $75 in there in USDC, which is a stable coin, and I do make pretty good interest off that. Um, but everything else is pretty much crypto dust, and then XYO token. It's an ERC20 token. Um, please don't think I know what I'm talking about because I don't. But I get it free through this app called Coin. It just like mines your data and sells your location data, and then you get like pennies for it. But over time, it adds up, and every once in a while, you can cash out for like $10 in XYO, and you can exchange it for something else if you want. I usually just leave it in XYO, and then if anybody did Picoin, I do have Picoin. It's not able to be traded in the U.S. right now, but that's actually worth $3,000 or $4,000, and I got all of that for free. I've never put any money into crypto at all. It's just been getting free crypto for signing up for things. Um, so once Picoin's tradable in the U.S., I mean that's pretty good. I'll get like $4,000 for free. Um, so I don't know if I'll keep that and hold it or switch it to another crypto, even if it's USDC, like stablecoin with the high interest rate, or maybe I'll use that to pay a good chunk toward my student loan or something. Um, Sandra says, "Hi, Mark and everyone. Was about to sleep when I saw there was a live feed. Yeah, sorry, this is later than I normally do. So basically, I do it the last Sunday of the month, or I try, but I had a rough weekend. Um, I've had a headache from not sleeping. The guys were super loud on Saturday night, kept me up really late. So Sunday, I I partly slept in, and then I had some other stuff going on. It's just been a lot. So so we're doing the stream on a weird day and at a later time because my CEO was supposed to come today. So I thought, well, surely he'll be here by 5 p.m. I thought he'd be here in the morning, and he just never showed up, and I never heard from him. So um, I was like, well, if he's not here by 5 p.m., I'll get dinner because that's when they serve dinner here. And then I'm just like, I guess if he's not here by then, I'll just do the stream. But again, I don't know if I made it clear to everyone, but if I seem completely zoned out, it's because I am. I The last few days I've not been sleeping very well. Um, they kept me up the one night, and I think I got a headache because I stayed up so late. I don't know how that happened, but um, and then I couldn't sleep last night because of the headache. Uh, Max says I'm going to cold approaching some women when I go to DC Wednesday. I'm just alone. I met someone I liked in DC on Saturday, but she lives 6 hours away. Yeah, that's rough. Unless you can figure out a way to make that work. I mean, I I'm not opposed to distance, but some people are. Um, yeah, I mean, just make sure of this, man, because this is the thing. So just don't be creepy. Just however you do it, don't do that. And I will say that from my experience, whether a girl finds you creepy or not depends on how attractive they find you. If they find you super attractive, you can do something super weird and they're not going to be creeped out by it. But if they are not that attracted to you, there's a pretty low threshold for what they'll find creepy. Um, so just be aware of that. Um, and you know, go ahead and do it. I mean, I know that it can boost your confidence, especially if you get a good return, like, if they're friendly and do talk to you. But keep in mind too, because I don't know where you live, but um, like, what's your purpose for approaching women? Like, is this just a strike up a conversation for practice thing? Are you trying to meet somebody for a relationship? Because if you don't live in DC, well, I guess there's kind of not a point, but they'll also maybe think you have ulterior motives. So keep that in mind too. Kuro says, thank you so much. I have to check out the other bids. Yeah, if it's not in a playlist, you can just search for me and job searching, and it should be like, there's several of them. They're like all numbered. They're pretty old, but it goes through some of that. And also, I don't know if you're on Reddit, but check out Recruiting Hell. It's a subreddit about people who are really frustrated about the job search. TMUSA says, hello, joined 40 minutes late, so don't answer twice, but is your new apartment nicer than where you were in Indiana? Well, nobody's asked me that yet, so. Okay, so. The short answer to that is no, but also sort of yes. The apartment that I have here is much, much smaller. Um, the apartment that I had in Indiana was actually, it was pretty huge, actually. I mean, um, way more space than I needed. And I didn't really have anything to put in there. So I didn't use the space very well. I've, I've been wanting to measure the square footage here because this is a pretty small space. Um, I just found a tape measure in the drawer yesterday. So I don't have the measurements now, but I will have those. Basically, I um, sorry, I'm distracted by watching my own live stream over here. It's on like a 20-minute delay for some reason. Um, anyway, so I don't have the measurements for you, but it's very small. Um, It's a small office, which I also use as my living room and my kitchen. And then there's a laundry room where it's really just enough room for the washer and dryer to sit in there. Uh, and then a bedroom with a closet and a bathroom. Um, I guess the bathroom's a decent size, but the bedroom's very small. I'm in it right now, but it's hardly more room than the bed. I think the bed's a full size. I have to figure that out because I bought those sheets, so I'll have to figure out if it's a full size. Um, but anyway, um, basically, there are nice aspects of this apartment and there's like bad aspects of it. The main nice aspect is like while it's not completely clean, I'd give it like an 85%. And the place that I moved into in Indiana, I think was more around the 25-30% clean. I mean, like the bathroom there was so disgusting that I literally would ride the bus to campus when I first moved in, um, to use the bathroom because, well, I mean, I would take a shower, even though the shower was gross too, but there was no way I was using that toilet. Um, so yeah, I didn't have that issue here. It was like mostly clean when I moved in. Not perfectly. Like I'm eventually gonna deep clean everything as I move in here, but not what I'm used to, where I have to do that immediately when I move in. It is a lot smaller. Um, it is closer to where the guys hang out, and that's not good because of the noise. Um, but they did tell me that before I got here. I mean, not like happy about it, but it's something I'm gonna have to deal with. Um, I will eventually make a tour video of it. I do like it because I like small spaces. Like if I weren't a millennial and therefore will never be able to buy a house, I would want like a small like one bedroom bungalow style kind of house. Like I would want something small like that. I like living in small spaces. I'd say the car was probably a little too small, but for what it was, I kept that pretty organized. So a small actual apartment like this, I can definitely maximize the space. Um, and I'm actually going to be rearranging the what's set up as an office right now to be more like a living room. Um, okay. TMUSA says, what is the best way to invest for the first time in crypto for somebody who knows next to nothing about it? Well, I also know basically nothing about it. Um, I just saw this stuff. It's like, hey, get free Bitcoin for signing up. And I'm like, cool. So I'd sign up and get the free Bitcoin and then never do anything else with it. I've just held on to it. Um, I will say, I think most of those days are over. Uh, every once in a while, Coinbase will have this thing called rewards, and it'll give you like $2 or $3 of a certain coin. Um, but it's gonna be like a coin that's probably not worth anything. Like they're not giving out Bitcoin anymore. Um, it's, I mean, I would say to be safest, I mean, if you're gonna do it, convert USD to USDC, or there's another one that's very similar. They're both stable coins, which means they stay at the value of $1, and they generally have pretty high interest rates. So you can get interest from them, and that's what I would do is to be the safest possible. Now, having something like USDC, a stable coin, is not as safe as having like regular currency in the bank, but in comparison to other cryptos, it's pretty safe. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, I wonder if that is what my car insurance company is doing. I used their 20% off deal, so that means they're getting $25 gift cards off the wazoo. I have seen that. Like, I have seen companies say, oh, Nordstrom. So that's where I ordered I told you guys I got, what's that called? Moisturizer. So I got moisturizer here. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was super weird. After the phone rang, it just went to a blank screen. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me check on this. All right, so the official answer is I don't know. Let me try to figure this out. I will get back to all your questions. This wouldn't be so awkward if he had shown up during the day. I'm not even sure that's him. It could be spam. But they did leave a voicemail. Okay. I'm going to try to listen. I'm going to try to read the transcription of this voicemail. It might shut the stream off. So if it does that, I'll just go live again. So just look for that if this ends, okay? All right, guys. So it is the CEO. He left a voicemail. I've got to call him back at least. Let's do this. I don't want to miss your messages. I'm going to leave the stream up here. But obviously I can't make a phone call because I'm filming on my phone. So let me end this stream. Let me give him a call. And then I will start the stream. I'll start a second stream a little bit later, okay? We'll still do it tonight. I'm sorry for this. I really thought he was just not going to show up today. I think he might be wanting to come over now. So we'll do a stream later tonight. And if he does end up coming up to the house, I'll put a post on the community tab and just let you guys know, like, that it'll be a while or something like that. All right. So yeah. Okay. Let me do that.